Long time no see, eh? If you've been wondering where I've been, I've done a lot of streaming on this channel, if you weren't aware of that, and that's why there's kind of been a lack of uploads. But, you know, my goal right now is to kind of turn a lot of my streams into videos, whether it's segments of the streams or the entire streams themselves. Just get ready for that, but it's not exclusively going to be that. I'm also just going to be making actual YouTube videos like this that aren't based off of a stream that I did. But with that out of the way, Halo Infinite Season 5 just came out yesterday as of recording this video, and it is so good. You know, I make a video on every season of Halo Infinite when it comes out, and so this is just continuing that trend, except this time I actually have exciting things to talk about. Sure, Season 4 brought career progression and infection and a couple cool maps and stuff. Season 5 has so much good stuff, and so let's just talk about it. So to start off with some fun stuff, let's start out with the 2 new maps they added. So they added 2 new arena maps. One of them is called Prism, and the other one is called Forbidden. Now, Prism is like a little cave that is where they mine the needles for the needlers, and it is just such a pretty map. It is easily my favorite looking map in the game so far. It is just stunning to look at. It's also really fun to play, and I think it's balanced out really well. Forbidden is a bit of a bigger arena map, but I also do thoroughly enjoy it. It definitely gives off more of those Delta Halo vibes from Halo 2, as we've seen in a couple maps before this, and I just love the aesthetic. It is so pretty to look at. And while I do think Prism, you know, looks a lot better, I think Forbidden looks like a classic Halo map. You know, because like in Halo 4 and 5, everything is like super futuristic, but in the old games, there was a lot of grunge to the games, right? And Forbidden kind of brings that grunge to the map, and I really appreciate it. Also at launch for Infinite Season 5, they brought a new mode called Extraction, which is actually a returning mode from Halo 4, but they, you know, revamped it and made it better for Halo Infinite, essentially. They added a hero rank reward, finally, so if you max your career progression all the way out, all the way up to hero rank, which is incredibly difficult to do, but if you can do that, if you can accomplish it and get to max rank, you get Master Chief's armor from Halo Infinite. I'm so glad they decided to do an armor set this time, because in Halo 5 it was just an emblem, and so I was kind of worried it was going to be like a coating or something, but you get an exclusive coating and an entire armor set, or armor kit in this case, and it's just beautiful. I love it. And speaking of the Mark 6 armor kit, or the Master Chief armor from Infinite, there's also a Mark 5 armor kit coming to the shop in November, which looks stunning in my opinion. It's literally a one-to-one recreation of the Combat Evolved Mark 5 outfit, and unfortunately it is going to be in the shop. You will have to pay for it, but this is actually something I'm willing to put my money towards because it is just, it's so cool. It's so freaking cool. Gone are the days of Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Master Chief, and we finally have a faithful recreation of the original Mark V. So that makes me happy. And you will notice that I called both the Mark 6 and Mark 5 armor kits because they are kits, but they did do something to revamp kits for Season 5. So any new armor kits that come out from now on, you can customize the color, the visor, and the effects on them. You can't change the armor pieces, which I think is fine. The fact that these kits, you can actually customize the colors, the visor, and the effects, I think that's great. It's a lot better than just having no customization at all, like they used to be. Speaking of customization, we also have a new battle pass this season, which is 50 tiers instead of 100 tiers, which I do appreciate because a lot of the other battle passes were just filled with a bunch of bloat, essentially, and this battle pass has no bloat at all. So they cut it down to 50 tiers. It's like the same amount of content, but you don't have to grind out 100 ranks to get it. You only have to do 50, and you still get the same amount of content. So honestly, I think it's a win-win for everybody, because you can get it done faster, you get the same amount of content, and a lot of the bloat is just cut out of it, so I really do appreciate that. You can also earn Battle Pass XP in custom games, though it is capped at 7,500 XP a day. That's not a big deal for me, but I know some people like to play custom games, so being able to earn some XP towards your Battle Pass in custom games is pretty cool. There's also a ton of Flood-inspired cosmetics for the season, and I really appreciate it. You have some in the Battle Pass, and a lot of them are in the shop, unfortunately, but being able to have Flood customization in this game is like something really unique, because we haven't really had anything like that in any other Halo game. So being able to have like Flood-covered gross armor is just, it's so cool in my opinion. Now, unfortunately, a lot of it is locked behind the shop, which the shop has egregious prices now. If you remember, all the way back at launch of Halo Infinite, all the way back in 2021, the shop had incredibly terrible prices. It cost like $20 for an armor set. And it's been trickling down ever since. But with this season, the armor sets are back up to $20. Right now, for the first week, there's 2 flood armor sets in the shop, and each one costs $20, which I think is ridiculous. I know everybody wants their flood-inspired cosmetics. I want them too. And I'll get some of them in the battle pass, which I did get. The ones in the shop, I just can't see it being worth it for me. I mean, $20 is such a hefty price just for an armor set, in my opinion. And on the last bit of customization, we finally have cross-core helmets. Cross-core has kind of been a touchy subject with this game, where it was not even present at all at the launch, and they've slowly integrated different bits, but like not really. They allowed us to use different helmet attachments on different helmets, and we got cross-core visors, but then we just had radio silence on cross-core for months after that. But now with Season 5, we have cross-core helmets, which means any helmet you can unlock, you can put on any core, which I think is so cool. Sure, you can make the most egregious abominations of armor sets you want, which I think look hilarious, but you can also make really cool things, like putting the Mark 6 helmet on the Mark 7 core, or an ODST helmet on the Rakshasa core, or however you pronounce it. I'd probably butcher that. I'm not joking, making helmets cross-core opens up a whole new window for customization. That one simple thing just changes it all. And along with that being cross-core, all like future coatings and stuff are going to be cross-core too. And 343 are slowly working on getting all the old coatings to be cross-core too. They've already done it with a few of the old coatings, and so they'll be working that into. So full cross-core definitely is a priority for 343, and honestly, by Season 6 or 7, I think we might have it, which is like really cool. We also have a couple new Forge canvases. One is a snowy one, which is really cool because we can finally get snow maps. Another one is like kind of a sandy, dusty one. It kind of looks like out of Halo Reach, to be honest with you, but yeah, that's really it. I don't really dive into Forge that much, but I figured I'd let you know about it anyways. We also do have a new variant of the Bandit rifle called the Bandit EVO, which is just the Bandit rifle, but it has like a tiny scope on it. This is more for like competitive players, but you know, it's there. It's a decent addition, I guess. And of course, I saved the best for last. And of course, I'm talking about Firefight. So currently at the launch of Infinite Season 5, we do have a Forge AI toolkit, meaning in Forge, you can add AI from the campaign, any of the Banished essentially, and also your Marines, and you can script them to do different things, which means now in Forge, not only can you create incredible maps, but you can create entire Firefight games, scenarios, and even your own campaign missions, which is so cool with the addition of Forge AI. And Firefight, while it's not here at the release of Infinite Season 5, will come in a mid-season update. I'm guessing around December or so. You know, that's exciting. Unfortunately, it's not here yet. It's not ready, but it's going to be here really soon. And we already have the tools to make it ourselves, and 343 is actively working on their own Firefight, which I think is just awesome. We finally are getting Firefight in the game. And along with getting normal Firefight, they're also introducing a new Firefight mode called Firefight King of the Hill, which essentially, instead of just being Firefight where you just fight off hordes and hordes of enemies, in this mode you have to go capture the hill and hold a hill while all the enemies flood you. So you can't just go camp up into like different spots in the map and last as long as you can. You actively have to control different parts of the map while all the Banished rush you, and it just makes it super intense and super cool, and I'm just really excited about it. And to round off this video, to a lesser note from Firefight anyways, we do have a couple new events coming this season, but they're not called events anymore, they're called operations. So if you remember in the past, events were like lasted a week or 2 weeks where you could play the game, do challenges, and unlock stuff in this like mini battle pass or whatever for free, but then they would kind of go away forever. So if you missed out on them, there's a lot of FOMO, there's a lot of fear of missing out, and it wasn't made perfectly, but now I think they made a really good solution to that. So events have been rebranded from events to operations, and essentially what it is it's kind of the same thing where you get this free battle pass that you can grind through for like a month now. I think they extended the time on it. However, if you do miss out on said operation or event, they're kind of interchangeable, you can purchase the event later in the future if you did miss out on it. So I think it's kind of a fair way to do it because it's completely free if you make the time, but if you couldn't make the time, you can still buy it and get the stuff, so you will have to pay for it, of course, but there is no like fear of missing out. If you really want it, you can pay for it in the future. Honestly, I think this is a great way of doing it because, you know, you still get like an entire month to do it for free, so I really think it's fair to charge afterwards, but I just think the whole rebranding of events into operations is just really neat and really helpful. Halo Infinite Season 5 is called Reckoning, as in the House of Reckoning from the campaign, where you have a whole Firefight section, so This season is very, very much Firefight oriented, and even though it didn't make launch, it's definitely what it's going to be about. And honestly, I can say with a lot of certainty, Halo is definitely on the right track here. With each season they release, it just gets better and better, sure. But with Season 4, like, we were going up, but then we just spiked with Season 5. So it makes me really excited with what we have coming in the future of this game and the future of the franchise in general. Now, I don't want to be one to point fingers, so take this with a grain of salt. But I feel like ever since the old regime at 343 left, aka Bonnie Ross and some of the other people, Infinite's been in a much better state. Like, I know management at 343 has kind of been a mess. Now, I don't want to point fingers and say, like, Bonnie Ross, you did this. I have no idea. This is all speculation. But what I'm saying is ever since the old regime kind of moved out, Infinite's been a lot better. I don't know. I don't want to point fingers, but we have a bright future ahead of us for this game, and it's just really exciting. I can't wait to play more of this. I'm actually, like, really waiting to just play more of this. I'm actually hooked on this game for the first time in a long time. Oh, also, one more thing I missed. They did change the UI a little bit, so the main menu actually shows off your Spartan, which I think is really cool. You know, it kind of puts you front and center in the game. And also, the UI in general has just gotten a lot more clean. There are still a bit of clunky bits, like the horizontal menus and the customization is still really annoying, but they are improving the UI overall, so I do really appreciate that. I forgot to add that, so I'm just tacking that on at the end of this video. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little update, or, you know, talking about Infinite Season 5 in general, I guess. Halo is a franchise I adore. I grew up with it, and it's my favorite video game franchise ever. So honestly, seeing anything good come out of it is just a win for me. And, you know, the seasonal updates, the videos that I make, I think I love to make these. I think they're really exciting. It's not perfect yet. I'm not saying Halo's back. It's going to take a couple more seasons of this level of quality and content before you actually get your people back. But we are definitely on the right track. I'm making this video after playing a lot of it. So yeah, if you haven't played Halo Infinite, I mean, you know, this could be fun to jump into if you're interested. If you played it at first but kind of got bored of it, definitely come back and try it out again. There's so much stuff to do, and it's just a ton of fun now. And there's a lot of modes, and like Squad Battle is one of my favorites. It's pretty much old Big Team Battle 8v8 instead of the new one where it is 12v12. And it's made on a bunch of Forge-made legacy maps, like Last Resort. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you check out this game if you're interested. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.